So immediately following the Switch 2 stream on April 2nd, I was actually feeling pretty good about things, and I recorded a whole video about how positive I was feeling about the Switch 2. I thought the lineup of games was really solid, I thought the new announcements looked interesting, I thought the technical specs of the system and the 1080p 120 FPS target was actually very reasonable because it was a nice sweet spot between, high-end gaming and something more manageable for developers, the kind of thing that'll encourage devs to get creative with their presentation and their art style and keep gameplay feeling smooth without hyper-focusing on crazy graphics or sweat pores or anything. I generally felt pretty good about the direction Nintendo was going with the Switch 2 immediately following the stream. But then I ended up scrapping that video because Nintendo did the classic Nintendo thing where immediately after saying a bunch of things to make people excited, they started quietly confirming things that completely erased all the goodwill. And when I say these later confirmations completely erased the goodwill, I mean that in the most literal sense I possibly can. This was the worst announcement of a console since the Xbox One. And I'm not even being the least bit hyperbolic when I say that Nintendo just became my least favorite company in gaming, following all these quiet add-ons to the Switch 2 stream, and I'm also not being even a little bit hyperbolic when I say that Nintendo may have actually just kicked off the crash of the AAA industry, which longtime viewers of my channel will know that I actually wholeheartedly welcome because this industry needs to be completely reformed, and if a crash makes that happen, then so be it. But I wasn't expecting it to come from Nintendo of all companies. I mean, if they just hosted the stream and left everything as is in that stream, we would have a pretty solid new console on our hands, but instead, we have this nonsense. So the first thing that was quietly confirmed, at least the first thing that I saw after closing out the stream, was the fact that the Switch 2 upgrades for Switch 1 games, something that I was actually very positive about in my initial now deleted impressions video, those are not going to be free, like they absolutely fucking should be. Nintendo was already pissing me off by charging 70 smackaroos for Switch games that were running at like 720p 30 FPS. Like, content be damned, $70 for digital copies of games that run like that is highway robbery. And also, this is Nintendo, so of course those prices never got lower with time. So frankly, I just assumed that when they flashed the big like Switch 2 upgrade hype on screen for games like Breath of the Wild and Breath of the Wild 2, I honestly forget the name of that game right now, I kind of just assumed they would be free bonuses or free updates with the backwards compatibility, similar to how Microsoft handles Xbox One and Xbox 360 games on the Series consoles. You just download the games and the next gen updates are automatically applied to them. Little did I know that nope, they're charging for those. So not only did they overcharge you for the games last generation, and not only are they continuing to overcharge you for those same games, but you now have to pay extra money to get those same games up to half decent modern performance metrics on a system that costs $450. And before you even try to do the stupid, but $70 is the industry standard for games, and other companies charge you for next gen upgrades, I don't fucking care. Just because other companies are taking advantage of you does not mean that it's now there's now like a big green light for an additional company to take advantage of you. Also, not to be that PC gaming grouch in the room again, but I do love that this current generation of consoles is trying constantly to catch up to the kind of performance that PC gaming gets. Like the consoles are charging you every step of the way to get performance that the PC doesn't charge you for at all. Have you ever noticed that? It's like, oh, PC gaming gives you these great benchmarks for your games. Well, on the consoles, we have to charge you a bunch of money for the hardware that can reach it. Then we have to charge you again for additional hardware that can maybe reach it. Then we have to charge you again for the games to have an update that can use the hardware that it's running on. Meanwhile, the PC just has a graphics menu and calls it a day. I just find that ironic. But since we're on the topic of charging you for things that you shouldn't have to be charged for, I'd like to point your attention to this. To quote Yahtzee Croshaw,
Nintendo, what the steaming cross-eyed fuck is this?
So digital games are just $80 now. Okay, well surely they can't be charging more for physical games with that kind of pricing, and they're charging more for physical games with that kind of pricing. Well, maybe they're charging more for physical copies because there's more stuff on the physical copies, and there's actually less stuff on the physical copies. In fact, some of the physical copies don't even have the game on them anymore. They're literally just big plastic download keys. So Nintendo, one of the last bastions of mostly offline gaming, is ditching the offline audience, and they're charging you more than ever so they can do less work and give you less control of the things you're paying more money for. This is what we in the industry call a hard sell. I had a bad feeling about how Nintendo was going to be handling stuff like this like a week ago after they confirmed the digital game cards thing, but this is honestly so much worse than I was expecting. I honestly don't know how Nintendo's going to sell this to anyone other than uninformed parents and Nintendo neckbeards. You're asking $450 for the system, but $80 for digital copies of the games, even though the digital copies can be produced infinitely at no additional cost to the publisher. So I don't want to hear anything about how, like, actually, it's because of tariffs. Guys, Joe, stop complaining about the prices. It's because of the tariffs. Oh, really? The tariffs impact the digital game that can be produced infinitely at zero cost? The tariffs are influencing that pricing? Fuck yourself. That's not how any of this works. Stop acting like you understand. If this were literally any other company, you wouldn't be making these excuses. I also love that according to Nintendo's new pricing here, this entire console is only worth about 4.5 download codes. Like, the whole console, it's the same price as 4.5 game downloads. Incredible price evaluation going on here, Nintendo. Great work with that. That really makes me see you in a positive light. But also, not only are you getting less from your physical copies now because the game isn't even on the fucking cartridge anymore, but they're charging you more for it. They are charging you more money for less product, because before they were charging you $60, $70 for a cartridge with a game on it. Now you're paying $80 for a game and $10 for a box, basically. A box with some pictures on it and a single-use piece of plastic. Go fuck yourself, Nintendo. Also, but Joe, not every physical game is going to be like this, because look, there's this thing on the website that says only some physical games are like this. It doesn't say all of them are like this. Yeah, that's how it starts, you moron. The fact that you're accepting this at all is the problem, because if they start selling physical games that aren't actually physical games, they're just download codes on a plastic box, if you start buying those, why would they invest at all in actual physical games in the future? Of course they're going to try and play the don't worry, it's not all of them like this now, because that's how they get to this being the standard in the future. There is no reason for this game card system to exist halfway if there's not a future plan for it. Do you get what I'm saying? This is a system that only exists as a stepping stone to the future. There's no logistical reason for them to half convert to this unless it's the boiling frog tactic, which it obviously is. The second you people start buying these stupid game key cards, they're going to wind down actual physical copies because it's cheaper to make the key cards. And if nobody buys the physical key cards because they don't want the stupid key cards, then Nintendo's just going to use this as justification to throw up their hands and say, well, it looks like no one's buying physical copies anymore, so all digital it is, and you morons will eat it up either way. Fucking well played, Nintendo. Shit, this is actually a genius move on their part, and I hate it. So, back to the title of the video. Why is this the start of the end of the AAA industry? Frankly, it's simple. Because if Nintendo's doing it, everyone else will follow suit. More companies will start upcharging their games digitally. What few companies are still doing physical releases, like actual physical releases, will start slowly moving towards these stupid physical keys and then use the lack of interest in the physical keys as justification to ditch actual physical copies altogether. And since now they're charging more than ever for less than ever, that means no one's going to do anything about their skyrocketing budgets, which means profit margins will become even less manageable, which means there will be even more high-profile flops, which means more layoffs, more studio closures, less games coming out, which leads to publishers feeling the need to charge even more for what little they are putting out in order to satisfy shareholders. All the while, gamers are not going to be putting up with this shit because they already are not putting up with this shit and will just be pirating the games or only playing cheaper games like indies and double A's that don't charge them out the butt for absolutely everything. And just like that, the AAA sector of this industry is going to completely collapse in on itself. I made a whole video not too long ago about how I thought GTA 6 was going to kickstart the death of the AAA industry if it launched at higher than $70, which it absolutely is going to do now that Nintendo's given them the green light. But honestly, I wasn't expecting Nintendo to swoop in and just steal the thunder like that. Because frankly, this is the start of the end. I don't see how this gets walked back without severe consequences first. Nintendo just gave every company the green light to charge more than $70 for their games. They gave every company the green light to do these stupid not actual physical game copies. And I bet you anything that I own that tons of other AAA companies have already started laying out their plans to follow suit with this. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not this month, but this is absolutely the start of an industry-wide price hike, and you know what's going to happen? Gamers aren't going to stand for it. Sure, some of them will keep paying whatever the corporation tells them to, but not all of them. Sure, some gamers will defend this behavior, but not all of them. The margins are going to shrink, the buying base is going to fade. And with how long game development takes these days, and with how far out AAA publishers make their plans, there literally will not be enough time for the trajectory to be corrected before there are insane financial consequences. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs, a lot of studios are going to close, and it is all going to be because of this. It will all be on this. So I hope you're happy, Nintendo. You not only burned up what goodwill you had left with a huge portion of gamers, but you also very likely kicked off the destruction of the AAA industry. And again, I welcome the fall of the AAA industry. I think this industry is grossly out of touch with its consumer base, and it's so big that it needs to crash in order to be corrected. But to see it happen in this specific way is just so frustrating, because frankly, the one way that the industry could have been corrected was with something like this. Nintendo had the power to fix things. There was room for improvement. There was space for Nintendo to set a good example and get things back on track. There were so many simple things here that could have set a good example for the rest of the industry and gotten things back on track while avoiding a crash. If this system was priced at $350 instead of $450, if physical copies were still actual physical copies, if they kept the price of games where they were. I mean, in a perfect world, they would have dropped them, but we all know that was never going to happen. So if they just kept them where they were while keeping all the other things that I just said, if they made next-gen upgrades free like they should be, if they did all of that, this could have been a hype stream, and it would have been a great sign of things to come. It would have been a great example to set for everyone else. But instead, we have an overpriced console with grossly overpriced games, we have the near erasure of physical games, and we have the continued price hiking of absolutely every aspect of this hobby, at least in the AAA sphere. So I hope you're happy, Nintendo, because this is how it starts. The AAA industry crash has begun, and it fucking deserves it. We're doing the Doofus Club shoutouts now. I forgot I had to do those. So let's do the Doofus Club shoutouts now. I'm so fired up and frustrated. Multheme, Binary, Deviant, Voxalta, Cloaktonix, Ed Omega, JJ Dusty, Hail Denuvo, Pub, Cod, Stop It, Codman4372WX, The Gamer 127YT, Joe, have you tried Crab Champions? Father Joe, when are you joining voice chat? I'll join right now. Shock My Nipples, Gold Pyrac, Zombie Fan, Alderato 1, I shit on my floor the whole time you were gone, Joe, Ultimate Jack, Doug Niggsy, Blast 1314, Snake Eyes 327, Devastator 2000, Edge Knight 1789, Raptor 1, It's Gamer Word, Not Gamer World, get it right, Joey, Wild Gamer 3001, Sad You Freighter, MK2396E, The Crocodile in the Moat, Got Me, Joe, Help, Hentai Machina Gamma, Elite Wolf, Fire Hazard 105, Epion 504, If You Read This You Gay, Klepto Penguin, Banshee, Partial Mean A, GWSSS, Doom Kaiju, Rast the Wolf, Evanco, OK Toodles, Tech Gaming, Jungle Zone, Slim Jim, Really Zero Gaming, Dead People, Bender Fondue, All Games Video, Big Japanese Thing I Can't Read, Max Killer V2 Gaming, Biscuit 111, PS5 has Infinite Bacon, Horizon Forbidden West Remastered, Pope Raphael the Racking, Jessica Shepard, Riki Spiral, Riki Tiki Tabby, Muskie, Joe's Keyboard Fun, Kurumi the Steel Angel, Who Do, You Voodoo, Who, Woo, Who Do, Woofy, Woofy, Doofy, Smash Jump, Sergeant Jason Bond, Baron Von Waterholm, Cyrus Fire the Homework, Man Homage Me, Joe failed to, forgot to change names, now I can't afford to fix it, Chutex 940, Tenzo Nakage, Yingbo, Anemone, Isthmus, United Establishmentarianism, Hinoka's number one Saudi fan, Creed Warrior 23, Max Chev, Herman's Nintendo Defense Reaction Vid, When, Chap, oh gosh, is he already on it? Oh golly, I haven't checked on him. I have to check on him. I haven't looked at his shit since before the stream. Oh dear. Totally Insane, even Vendetta, Audrey, Black Cobra, Night of Cypher, Reborn Me with the Fan Art, ML04. I own 6 copies of Click 2006 on Blu-ray. What the Fan Art, Harmon's Hair Grease Supplier, Wolf of Midnight, Stick Rider, Pig Venus, Kev Dog 1992. Kev Dog 1992, Sequence Studios, Film Cracking the Beastums, OM Gaming, Tariq Brown, Thompson Can, Hero Culture, Thorn Skate, Maganex, Severin Evans, Mr. Spawning 03, is the Carolina freaking Y Mixer, Pow Pow, Y Trouble, Donnie Weston, Nick Donegan, Gob Gobson, Rogue Winter 919, Bobby Hinner, Grimsy, Sen Goku Rants, Hangman for Hire, Eldon the Noble, Frost Crystal, Jimmy Chops, Biogenesis, In Action, Floppy Pingus 97, Michael Musical, Mega Key, Krishko, The Scuffy Skull, Ghost Ho, Ryusaki, Jojo 6, Fast Growth, Femtango, Raptor Tim, I'm gonna Step 94, Blue Hook, Joe, I forgot to cancel, now I can't pay the ransom, The Return of the King, but it's upside down, Snorlaxon, I'm High as a Kite as I write this, Jody Breeze, Smitty, Worker, Jaegerman, Jensen, Maxler, El Massimo, Demetrius, Papa Giorno, Make Advertisement, Diego Garcia, Hates Matty, Kibikins, I American 80, Rebel Blood 80, Omanko Taco, The End is Never, The End is Never, The End is Never, The End is Never, The Last of Us is Boring, Cope, Oh No, it's Justin, Rand, Roy, Tony Wayne, Bloodline, Extreme the Wolf 7, Joey Scoops, my name is Mud, Joe Taco, Joe licked my feet, now he won't call me back, I want to be your condom, so pull me over your head and blow me up, want to be Hobo, Jidge, Westa, Bill at 310 Char, Rob C, I am Veg, The Groovy Banana, Curtin Allen's back, The Scrum Master, Bloodborne 2, 10 years, no port, Boogaloo. I'm gonna edit this real quick and get it up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Okay, toodles.